we're operating under the assumption for now that these individuals are still could still transmit COVID-19 to other people.
Tonight, 2 presumptive COVID cases in Nunavut.
It sends a message against transparency and risks discouraging people from being tested or cooperating with public health.
Alberta's chief medical officer warns against COVID discrimination.
This is a challenge to police officers with all the media that's going around south of the border, here within Canada. The conduct of police officers, racism is huge.
And a walk for hope starts in Winnipeg.
Good evening. Welcome to APTN National News. I'm Melissa Ridgen. Nunavut announced a presumptive case of COVID-19 at a remote mine site last week, but later testing couldn't confirm that. Now that same mine has 2 presumptive cases, but the government says they're not connected. Kent Driscoll with this from Iqaluit.
Nunavut health officials took questions today following an announcement of 2 presumptive positive tests for COVID-19 at the Mary River iron ore mine.
2 out-of-territory workers at the mine have tested positive, and while we wait the confirmed results from the south, we must treat these as presumptive.
So we're operating under the assumption for now that these individuals are still could still transmit COVID-19 to other people, and taking every precaution to minimize the chance of further spread.
The Mary River iron ore mine is located about 160 kilometers south of Pond Inlet, Nunavut. No Nunavut residents have been on site since March to prevent the spread of COVID-19 into communities. Last week, there was another positive test at this mine that was later retested and determined to be negative. Dr. Patterson is confident the 2 are not connected.
With what we know right now, the best explanation is that the transmission occurred either outside of the mine or not between our first presumptive and either of these 2 people, simply because they had no contact at the mine site that could have accounted for the results that we got yesterday and the day before.
Mine workers do not have to isolate for 2 weeks before traveling to the Nunavut mine sites. Nunavut's mines are paying their Nunavut-based employees to stay home. The big question remaining? The mines can't pay staff for not working forever, and with no clear end for COVID-19 in sight, how long can they continue to do so? Kent Driscoll, APTN National News, Iqaluit.
Members of a First Nation outside of Calgary, Alberta, are saying that they are discriminated against because there are confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the community. Tamara Pimentel explains.
COVID-19 doesn't care where people come from or what a person's heritage may be. The virus is not restricted to any particular race, region, or community.
A message from Alberta's top doctor, Dina Hinshaw, after learning that members of Siksika First Nation east of Calgary have been denied access to local businesses in a nearby town because of COVID-19.
This is not the first time that we have heard such reports around COVID-19. I know that Albertans of Chinese or other ethnic heritage and some religious groups have also at times been singled out and discriminated against.
There has recently been a spike of COVID-19 on the reserve. Currently, there are 11 active cases. But Hinshaw says the community's response to prevent the spread has been quick. She didn't name the businesses or individuals involved, but says the members of Siksika deserve better.
When the result of that prompt and transparent action is stigma against their members, it sends a message against transparency and risks discouraging people from being tested or cooperating with public health.
Alberta Health Services is investigating the incident. In a tweet, Siksika thanked Hinshaw for advocating for its members, adding they will fight stigma with kindness. Tamara Pimentel, APTN National News, Calgary.
The Manitoba government is expanding a program aimed at getting Manitobans back to work. Unveiling the Enhanced Jobs Initiative today, Premier Brian Pallister says the program will support the province's other initiatives and increase the opportunities for Manitobans to get back to work.
The new Enhanced Back to Work program will reimburse up to $5,000 each for up to 10 new workers, to a maximum of $50,000 per business. And I would emphasize this is also going to be a program that nonprofit organizations and charities would be able to apply to if they wish.
The program will now reimburse half of all wages for those newly hired to October 31st. Pallister adds that employers who have received financial support from other provincial and federal programs are eligible. 10 coastal communities in British Columbia have publicly stated that they will remain closed to non-residents, even as the province moves ahead with its COVID reopening plans. The Hailsuck Nation in Bella Bella is one of those nations, but tourism operators in the territory want to open. However, Hailsuck leaders feel that they need to protect against the risks of COVID-19. Their nation has 30 fluent speakers, all of whom are elders. The coastal communities believe more safety measures need to be in place in remote communities before they start opening to tourists.
Remote communities don't have the resources that other communities have that are more urban and metro. For us, having a rapid tester in our community is a resource, that we think that, should be in our community before reopening. Screening of tourists that want to, visit, rural and remote communities.
What do you think about nations wanting their territories to remain closed despite provincial reopening plans? Here's how you can continue that conversation. You can send your emails to news@aptn.ca. Find us online at aptnnews.ca and on youtube.com/aptn news. You can also follow APTN News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more Indigenous news. After a major win last week, a setback for opponents of the Dakota Access Pipeline. A U.S. Court of Appeals has issued an administrative stay on a decision that would have seen the pipeline shut down and emptied of oil by August 5th. A lawyer for the Standing Rock and Cheyenne River Sioux tribe says stay motions like this are routine. North Dakota Republican Senator Kevin Kramer tweeted that common sense prevails, calling the earlier shutdown order unreasonable and a, quote, judicial overreach. The stay could allow oil to flow through the controversial pipeline while the two sides fight it out in court. Energy Transfer, the company that owns the pipeline, says it will pursue all legal and administrative avenues to keep it operating. Both sides will be back in court next week. We need to take a break, but still ahead, fake status cards resurface in Quebec. First, here's a look at something we're working on for you.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Mort-Jacobs, and coming up on APTN National News, we'll take a look at the history of the school behind me, one of the only schools in the NWT to be built by First Nations to avoid sending the youngest children to residential school.
Off to the east coast, we've got 13 and some showers in St. John's, 23 and sunshine for Halifax. La Grande River, 26 with some showers. Inukjuak, 17, mostly sunny. Montreal, 29, cloudy with some rain. Quebec City, lots of sun and 25. Toronto, 28 with showers. Same with Peterborough. Sault Ste. Marie, mostly sunny and 27. Thunder Bay, 28 with some showers. Big Trout Lake, 24 and showers. Norway House, showers and 22 degrees. Churchill, showers and 13. 27 for Brandon and Winnipeg, lots of sunshine. 28 and sunny in Swift Current and Regina and Estevan. 22 and sunny for Buffalo Narrows. 21 with cloud for Stony Rapids. Welcome back. Chief and Council in Odanak and Abenaki community in central Quebec say that pretendians are using fake status cards to obtain tax exemption on heavy purchases. Covert status card distributors in Quebec have already been subject of RCMP crackdowns, but as reported this week on APTN's Nouvelle Nationale, local businesses are still falling for the scheme. Lindsay Richardson has more.
It's no secret the pandemic drove up online sales. But in recently dequarantined Quebec, an Abenaki community is issuing a warning. Some in-person shoppers are using fake status Indian cards to get more bang for their buck. Jacques T. Watso is a band council chief in Odanak, a community 2 hours away from Quebec City. He says flashing a cheap counterfeit identification card like these is in many cases enough to deduct thousands of dollars in taxes from the price of a new vehicle.
Il y a beaucoup de gens qui débarquent à Odanak avec des véhicules neufs pour prendre une photo pour envoyer comme preuve à Revenu Québec qui sont venus livrer sur réserve.
So, a newly formed committee in Odanak is distributing these pamphlets to business owners to show them what status cards issued by the federal government look like. For the band, it's a way of combating an expansive and expensive problem.
On a les pistes de solutions pour nous et par nous. C'est pas des gens qui veulent jouer aux Indiens, qui se vendent des cartes entre eux autres à 25 $ et qui fraudent le gouvernement sur le dos des Premières Nations. On a déjà assez de problèmes comme ça.
There are dozens of self-declared Indigenous groups on Odanak's watch list. Evading taxes is illegal. The police have tried to crack down, but leaders of disputed groups are still issuing their own cards.
Colonisés avec nos propres cultures, ce sont des gens agressifs envers les membres des Premières Nations parce qu'eux aussi veulent leur part du gâteau qui est l'avantage fiscal qui revient de la carte de certificat de statut.
The business owners who fall for the ruse have to pay the government back for the lost tax revenue. Not an easy task at any time, especially if big bucks are involved. And the Odanak Council is trying their best to educate their business neighbors. Lindsay Richardson, APTN National News, Montreal.
In other fake card news, a federal agency says it has a warning for anybody who's thinking about producing a fake exemption card to avoid wearing a mask as mandated in certain jurisdictions. Just don't do it. This photo posted to Twitter purports to show one such card. It instructs people to call the Canadian Human Rights Commission if they feel their disability rights have been violated. But the Commission says it is in no way affiliated with these cards. In recent weeks, small groups of demonstrators have protested public mask-wearing measures, calling them a violation of their rights and freedoms. The New Brunswick Ministry of Education could be adding Indigenous languages to its school curriculum. Yesterday, an act to amend the Education Act was passed through the third reading by the passed through to the third reading by the Legislature's Standing Committee on Economic Policy. The bill is expected to go through its third reading in September. If passed, Indigenous language curriculum could be developed for high school, middle school, and elementary public schools in the province. The bill was tabled last month by Green Party MLA Megan Mitten. She says that the bill will help dismantle some of Canada's systemic racism and attack on Indigenous languages.
And this is an opportunity to revitalize the Abenaki languages and to ensure that Mi'kmaq, Wolastoqey, Passamaquoddy First Nation students have the opportunity to learn their languages, and to ensure that other students learn some of the Mi'kmaq or Wolastoqey, make sure that they learn that as well.
The City of Kenora in northwestern Ontario is considering a bylaw that would fine people $100 for being homeless, a move that prompted a lunch and loiter protest in downtown Kenora today. The COVID-19 pandemic shut down many programs that had been helping people on the street. Businesses say that leaves more people loitering downtown. Proponents of the bylaw feel the threat of a fine will deter loitering, but opponents say they have no way to pay and nowhere to go. City Council is reportedly split 3-3 on the matter, which will be put to a vote on Tuesday. Marlene Elder organized the protest and says this is reminiscent of back when police would detain, quote, street people during events that attracted tourists.
The bylaw will penalize people that are poor, people that are homeless, people that are on the street because of mental health and addictions, and primarily people that are Indigenous. Kenora has a long history of removing what they see as a problem, distraction from the goods they have to offer to tourists, and so they have a habit of cleaning up the streets. And this is just a 2020 version of that, and it's very depressing to see that in this day and age.
Marlene Elder says that she will continue her daily lunch and loiter protests until the City Council votes on the matter on Tuesday. Well, it's time for us to take a break, but when we come back, a walk for mental health. First, here's the rest of tomorrow's weather for the west and the north.
To northern Alberta, We've got 19 in showers for High Level and Peace River, 21 and sunny in Fort Chip. 24 in rain for Edmonton and Red Deer, 29 in sunshine for Lethbridge. Vancouver, 22 in showers, same with Campbell River, 23 in showers for Victoria. Showers and 18 degrees in Fort Nelson and Prince George. 21 in rain for Dawson City, 20 in showers for Whitehorse. Guati, 21 in cloud, Trout Lake, 16 and rain. Fort McPherson, 19, mostly sunny skies, mostly sunny for Tuck and 9 degrees. Chesterfield, 10 in showers, same with Repulse Bay, 19 in sunshine for Cambridge Bay. Pangertung, 21 and sunny, Joe Haven, 9 and cloud.
Welcome back. The Bill Reid Gallery of Northwest Art in Vancouver is unveiling its newest edition, which will honor the 100th birthday of its namesake. And as Sarah Connors shows us, the exhibit looks much more than Reid's art.
Bill Reid was Canada's most acclaimed Haida artist. He passed away in 1998 at the age of 78. But now his work, and the man behind it, can be seen like never before.
Right here is the mythic messenger's bracelet, which is on loan to the gallery, and just one of the most spectacular pieces I've ever seen.
Bill Reid was an acclaimed Haida master artist and is credited with reviving Haida art. He's best known for his large sculptures housed in prolific places, like the Jade Canoe in Vancouver International Airport. Now an exhibition at the Northwest Art Gallery will honor him in celebration of what would have been his 100th birthday. The exhibit, To Speak with a Golden Voice, will feature rarely seen treasures of Reid's and works from artists inspired by him.
He also was instrumental in sharing Haida culture and Northwest Coast art with the world. So he's kind of cemented into our firmament in that way, or say the of Canada in that way, as many people's introduction to what Northwest Coast art is.
Haida artist and filmmaker Gwai Edenshaw took a major role in assembling the exhibit.
I learned to walk the day that his pole went up.
Edenshaw's father worked with Reid, and when Edenshaw was a teenager, he lived with the artist and is considered his last apprentice. To Speak with a Golden Voice also shined a light on the complexities of Reid's personality, like his reputation for being a gentle jokester.
It is a funny thing working with him. He was able to find humor in all kinds of moments. I think that it shines through even in his work, but his sense of humor is definitely an aspect of Bill's that I think needs to be remembered anyways.
To Speak with a Golden Voice isn't just about his legacy as an artist, but also his legacy as a human being.
Most of what we ever get to see about Bill is, in these clean and finished products that he made. This show is more about who he was. So if people are curious about getting to know about Bill as a man, as a person, then there's a little more opportunity inside of this show.
In August, the museum is going to hold a birthday bash for Reid, which will include a day of virtual artist demonstrations and exhibition tours. Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Vancouver.
The Hope in the Darkness Walk for Mental Health for Youth started in 2018 by a member of the Anishinaabe Police Service. Two teams walked from opposite ends of Canada and met right here in Winnipeg. Today, the second walk began, and Winnipeg is the starting point. As Daryl Stranger explains, the walk is all about sending a message of hope and empowerment.
The message is people are looking for one answer, and there's many answers. We need to find ways to coordinate and work together.
Local law enforcement came together to support the second Hope in the Darkness Walk in Winnipeg. Intended to be a call to action, organizers say the event is an avenue for addressing the mental health and well-being of young people. The walk was started by Kevin Redsky, who says the focus of this year's walk is to challenge members of law enforcement to connect with communities and youth.
And again, this is a challenge to police officers with all the media that's going around south of the border, here within Canada. The conduct of police officers, racism is huge, so we need to address that, and it's important for us to develop those relationships with police, community, and youth.
Over 90 days, Red Sky will walk to Vancouver, stopping in communities along the way to engage people on youth mental health and improving police relations. The Winnipeg Police Service is an official partner of the walk, and as Inspector Bonnie Emerson explains, events like this one are more important than ever.
These types of events have been happening for years. I think the need for them now has only intensified, and our support for them and for youth has only increased. So the message is the Winnipeg Police Service, our Indigenous Partnership Unit, the Community Support Division, and the Winnipeg Police Service as a whole, we are open to dialogue, to ways to have these conversations and to look about how we can better support.
The schedule and route are available online. Red Sky hopes to arrive in Vancouver on October 12th. Daryl Stranger, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
A First Nations elder and a community activist are receiving Manitoba's highest honor. The two are among 12 people who will be awarded the Order of Manitoba. Elder Mary Corshane, a residential school survivor, is being recognized as a role model in the field of public education and sharing her experiences to help build a better understanding between Indigenous and non-Indigenous communities. An educator and community activist, Mitch Bourbonnier, also is being recognized for his work inspiring others to find their voices. Bourbonnier is a founding member of the Bear Clan Patrol and volunteers for numerous organizations, including Mama Bear Clan. He previously received 2 Governor General Awards for bravery and service. Bourbonnier has also received a medal for bravery for jumping into the Winnipeg River to save a young woman's life back in December 2016. Congrats to those two, well deserved. With the NHL getting ready to get back into action, hockey fans have a new way that they can fill their craving for Canada's sport. Toronto's Hockey Hall of Fame officially reopened today.
And we're getting ready to welcome you back.
Visitors, including a 70% reduction in capacity, complimentary disposable face masks and gloves will be handed out to all visitors, and a stylus pen will be provided with admission for use on the facility's touchscreen monitors. For those of you who need your hockey fix in the middle of July, that is your APTN National News for tonight. Don't forget to put that APTN News app on your smartphone to stay up to date on all your Indigenous news. I'm Melissa Ridgen. Have a great night.